can offer temporary low-cost accommodation for migrant women at transition stage, or for domestic workers who wish to live outside the residences of their employers. The right to decent abode is a human right. Workshops on self-esteem, assertiveness, conflict management have become effective tools at empowering these women. Telling their stories is to break their silence, to break out of isolation. There are ways out of bondage. With will, courage and creativity, a new start is possible.
So you notice that self-esteem dito, it shows more on really on concentration of yourself.
Character.
Yung character mo, it has very little to do with outside. It has a lot to do with you, yourself as a person.
I think what is important thing is to tell the domestic workers that naturally the situation is different from one country to the other, but I speak for Switzerland. It's what I told already before. Domestic workers must know that what are their rights and what they can do, and they must know that you can go to court even if you are illegally here. And that the police does not know if you go to court. I mean, you go to court, that the court is not the police. And you can go to court except if you work for a diplomat who is not an ambassador. You can go to court if you work for a consulate, if you go for, and so on, and for an illegally without earning permit, and there's so many cases you can go. So this is important to know, and for that you can, second point, you can get legal assistance, legal aid. That means that your lawyer will be paid by the state. That means that you don't have to pay a lawyer. The second thing is that the proceeding in front of the labor court, until if your claim is lower than 20,000 Swiss francs, is always free in all counties in Zurich, in Switzerland. It's always free until 20,000 Swiss francs. Now, in Geneva it's free even if you ask for 2 million Swiss francs. Everything is free, but in the other countries up to 20,000. So this is important. I mean, you can get legal aid, in Geneva at least, in others more or less also. Naturally, if you win the case, you will have to pay your lawyer. Or if you win only little, they don't have to pay. But if you win a lot. So this gives you some security. That is important. The second point thing is what I told before, that try to look what are the belongings of your employer, because never forget that it is good to have a paper from the court, a sentence saying that the employer owes you so much money. But it is better to know where the money is.
Lourdes, another case, another escapee. It is necessary to acknowledge the most fundamental root causes of migration. Present economic structures and development models have failed to provide basic employment, sustainable livelihood and peace, leading to a widening gap between countries. The human and labor rights of migrant women continue to be violated because laws to protect them and measures to assist them and promote their welfare are inadequate or not enforced even when existent. They consistently face racism, xenophobia, discrimination and harassment.
After my release with my Arabic employer, I feel free now, and I'm happy with my friends who are always with me, and they are trying to help me to improve myself, doing something for myself. In the morning, I go to my part-time job, and in the afternoon, I study French. I'm also attending church activities, and I have contacts with my friends, with some other Filipino also, and sometimes I feel lonely when I remember my family. I have learned much from my experience. So, as the only thing I want to advise to the other Filipinos, to be careful. We always have to be strong when we leave our countries, and I have good hopes for the future.
Lily, Lourdes, Perla, Julie, and millions of others have stories to tell. They convey messages that challenge action. This documentary is not primed for sensationalism. It is made by concerned women who themselves were once victims of the circumstances and came out whole, resolved and redirected. Let this film be a precedent for all.
Nung isilang ka sa mundong ito, laking tuwa ng magulang mo, at ang kamay nila ang iyong ilaw. At ang nanay at tatay mo'y di malaman ang gagawin, minamasdan pati pagtulog mo. At sa gabi nagpupuyat ang iyong nanay sa pagtimpla ng gatas mo. At sa umaga na may talong ka ng iyong amang tuwang-tuwa sa'yo. Ngayon nga ay malaki ka na, nais mo'y maging malaya, di man sila pa